since we're on this casual killing act, we're going to keep on moving and go into what's happening today. We told you what's happening in 1985. So what's happening in 2020? And one of the things that we want to talk about is the Ahmaud Arbery story. Everybody is pretty much aware of it by now. These two white men, father and son, one a former officer working with the DA's office. I guess he's retired. Looked to me, since they run around in their little pickup truck with shotguns like they was out on a hunt. I mean, they were dressed in the most redneck fashion you can imagine a redneck would be dressed in. If I was to say, what two people do I not want to run across in the middle of a white neighborhood, it would be these two people with guns and the baseball caps that are, really bent forward and twisted, and the big red beards and heavy sets with a couple of shotguns in a pickup truck. The only thing missing was a Confederate flag. And they murdered this man right there. And it was on video, and it took them almost 3 months for them to finally press charges or to even arrest them. Well, the reason I picked that particular clip is because, let's point out something. First of all, this is MSNBC. This is mainstream media. This is what is a media organization, corporate control, that is well known as a liberal media organization, okay? I have been an executive producer of programming and shows for over 25 years. I put together all kinds of programming shows. I put together this program. So as you said, when we know that every minute and every second that is covered is in our itineraries of what we're going to be talking about. And there's a purpose behind everything. Now, they only provided a 2-minute and 20-second video. And it started out with them poisoning the well by talking about this video of him walking up to an abandoned home and as if he was a robber, as if somehow walking up to check an abandoned home for whatever reasons, maybe you want to buy it, maybe the people working on construction, whatever the reason is somehow criminal and justifies his death. And then they immediately gave credibility to the killer's excuse. No allegedly thought that was applied. They said he was a burglar, and he was a burglar. That's what they thought. End of conversation. They also made sure they clearly positioned the narrative of he violently attacked us, a.k.a. I feared for my life. And since this is a former cop, of course he's going to do something like that because he knows the piano keys to play to start the song singing again. And then from mainstream media, this is what's coming out. They only this psychological propaganda that they are putting in your head. And then they allowed William Bryan's attorney, the videographer, to push this idea that there was a rash of crimes in the area. A claim that, according to police records, is blatantly untrue. A lie, an outright lie. There was no rash of any crimes happening in that area. But they didn't say that. They just let him go ahead and push this narrative to further support what they were trying to put across. And then finally, they showed the letters from the DA's office talking about two prosecutors were recusing themselves and how they thought that the murder that they had been witnessed on video was perfectly legal. Of course it is, under the Casual Killing Act of 2020 and before that. So in a 2-minute, 20-second video, 99% of it was pro-genocide, anti-black rhetoric in an effort to control the narrative, switch blame, and support the murderer's claims without question. The only 2 parts of it where the people had to say something that was positive was the mother, of course, who they were exploiting for credibility for their program, and then the person at the end talking about how the brother was somebody you should love. So sandwiched in those 2 things was nothing but propaganda, demonizing the man who had been murdered and supporting the most redneckers you could possibly find out in a freaking pickup truck with shotguns looking for somebody to shoot during a pandemic. That's what I got to say.